OT Days is in full swing, and that's great news for the Gering tourism industry. KNEB.TV News starts right now.
From your trusted source for news in western Nebraska and eastern Wyoming, this is KNEB.TV News. Presented by Platte Valley Companies, premier provider of financial services.
Hello, I'm Ryan Murphy. This is KNEB.TV News, powered by Platte Valley Companies. Thanks for joining me. In our top story, tourism is booming in Gering as Oregon Trail Days kicks off. Gering Visitor Bureau Director Carla Needen-Streak says their work for Oregon Trail Days started when details for the event were finalized.
Our job as a Visitors Bureau is just to make sure that that word is out early in the year, and we start distributing schedules of events and including it on all of our website and calendar of events at the beginning of the year.
The Visitors Bureau helps visitors find hotel rooms to stay in and meeting rooms for their family and class reunions. Needen-Streak has also been using social media and the City of Gering's website to post about OT Days and all other tourism events and the activities in Gering.
We have just a tremendous year of tourism. We've already had a great year with baseball tournaments and a lot of events that have already occurred. Oregon Trail Days in July traditionally kind of is that hot week in July that kicks off the really busy summer season, and we're expecting a great number of friends and family and visitors coming in this week, and so we're looking forward to that. All in all, 2023 is going to be just a great year for our tourism industry across all markets.
There have been and will continue to be lots of events for Needen-Streak and her team to juggle from now until November, but she says they will just have to take them one at a time. Well, Oregon Trail Days organizers are excited about a new event for 2023. OT Days Board Chair Rebecca Shields says that this year they're adding a cornhole tournament to the festivities.
We've been wanting to, keep adding new events, make Oregon Trail Days fresh, and bring more people to the event. So I worked with Adrian Marino from 308 Cornhole. He puts on tons of tournaments all over, and he was super excited to be part of Oregon Trail Days. And so we were trying to find the best place to do cornhole, and it's going to be over with the Chili Cook-Off, which is up at Five Rocks, still next to mud volleyball, so you can still walk around mud volleyball, cornhole, and the Chili Cook-Off, and the carnivals all right there.
Other big events for this weekend include the Oregon Trail Days Parade, Chili Cook-Off, and the Oregon Trail Days Panhandle Quilt Guild Show. We'll have more news right after this.
Swipe right, swipe left, endlessly searching. Finding the perfect match isn't always perfect, but it can be when it comes to finances. Nora found the perfect business loan. Jenny opened her first savings account. Grammy loves her checking account. We found a match for Wilson Farms. The Sandersons were matched with a mortgage. Regardless of your financial situation, Platte Valley Bank will match you with the perfect solution. Find your match at Platte Valley Bank.
Life Care promises us that we are looked after and taken care of properly.
If I didn't have Life Care, I would be probably scared to death about having enough money for when I got older or when I got sick.
Moving in here was an easy decision and in fact a no-brainer. I looked at it as actually buying long-term care insurance, and in retrospect, a good move.
One of the things that convinces me that we did the right thing is no matter what happens, we will constantly be taken care of.
The whole thing is just vital because you don't have to be worried about what's ahead for you. It's there, it's in black and white, and that's reassuring.
This is home. It has been from the day I moved in.
Welcome back. A 31-year-old Bridgeport man is facing a variety of charges stemming from an incident last Friday in Minutair. Alejandro Mancara was arrested after police received a report about a stolen firearm and pulled him over near the Highway 92 raceway. The investigation revealed that Mancara reportedly exposed himself while at a home in Minutair, threatened to kill himself, and then stole a handgun from the home and left. He is now facing charges including burglary, theft by unlawful taking, public indecency, and carrying a concealed weapon. Bond's been set at $30,000, and he was scheduled to be back in court today for his preliminary hearing. Well, after serving the community for decades, one local restaurant has shuttered its doors for good. On Thursday, guests trying to go to the Scottsbluff Sherry's were greeted by a sign that reads as follows: "To our Scottsbluff guests, we appreciate your patronage. Please note this location is permanently closed. Sincerely, Sherry's." Employees could be seen on Thursday afternoon loading the cars with several boxes of food. A message left for Sherry's corporate office in Beaverton, Oregon has yet to be returned as for the reason for the closure. And the final results of the UNL Farm Real Estate Market Survey show the average value of agricultural land in Nebraska increased for the fourth consecutive year, and that held true for the Panhandle as well. The average farmland value in the so-called Northwest District of the survey was estimated at $935 per acre, up 13% from the prior year, with dry cropland having no irrigation potential up 21%, and just a 7% increase in center pivot irrigated cropland. Land industry professionals surveyed said current crop and livestock prices, purchases for operation expansion, the financial health of current owners, and hedges against inflation drove the increase. Cash farmland rental rates were also up with a 9 to 12% increase in cropland rental rates, while grazing rates for both pasture, by the acre, and cow-calf pair saw a 7% increase over 2022.
Fly United Airlines, operated by SkyWest with Western Nebraska Regional Airport. United is dedicated to going the extra mile for you with daily flights to and from Denver, along with a commitment to excellent service. Reserve your flight today, and remember, United miles can be earned and redeemed with your flights. While at the airport, stop and enjoy authentic Italian food at Roma Italian Restaurant. Plus, Hertz Thrifty Car Rental is there for your car rental needs. Make life easier, relax, and get on board with Western Nebraska Regional Airport.
This is KNEB.TV weather from the KNEB Storm Center, your trusted source for weather.
We could see an isolated shower or thunderstorm across the region this evening. Otherwise, it's going to be partly cloudy and temperatures settle down into the upper 50s and low 60s towards sunrise tomorrow. Again, just isolated evening thunderstorms. Mild temps again tomorrow. We're going to warm up starting Sunday. And again, just isolated thunderstorms possible out there. 92 yesterday after a morning low of 63. We had 1/100th of an inch of moisture in the rain gauge. About 1/10 of an inch now above normal for the month. Nearly 6 inches above normal for the year. We were at near or above normal yesterday. Back to below normal today. And yesterday, our first day of precip in 5 days. As far as those chances of precip go over the next several days, we're going to be dealing with very slight chances, if at all, until we get later on into next week. Winds are going to remain fairly calm. Breeziest day looks like it very well may be on Monday. Severe weather threat tonight. We're in a marginal risk of severe storms here. We've had a few already late this afternoon in eastern Wyoming and western portions of Nebraska. Southeastern and south central Nebraska into Kansas, a much better chance tomorrow, and Sunday, the severe weather threat is down. Sunday back in southern portions of Nebraska. Excessive rainfall will be in south central, southeastern Nebraska tonight. Tomorrow back in eastern Colorado, and then southeast Nebraska Sunday. Continue to bounce that around Monday, Tuesday, off to our east. Look at the heat still in the south, 101 in Albuquerque today, 114 in Phoenix, 103 in Sacramento. Here, it's 70s and 80s across the region. Some even cooler temperatures out there in a few locations, but generally upper 70s and low 80s. Winds out of the north at 10 to 15, gusting at times a little higher than that, especially with thunderstorms and showers across the area. Those quickly move out this evening, and we're left with clearing skies overnight. Not much going on Any thunderstorm and shower activity is going to be very isolated. And tomorrow we prime the pump and again get a few late day showers and thunderstorms to form tomorrow afternoon and evening. They move off. And as we start Sunday, another day of quiet weather here for the most part. Sunday afternoon and evening, again, a few clouds build up. We don't see nearly as many thunderstorms coming in here as things dry out a bit starting Sunday. Lows tonight in the 50s, highs tomorrow in the 80s, a comfortable day, and then we warm back up as we move beyond tomorrow. Rainfall is going to be limited except under those isolated thunderstorms. 57 overnight with clear to partly cloudy skies, light winds, very pleasant night. Sunshine tomorrow, upper 80s, a beautiful looking day. Our 7-day forecast, we go into the 90s starting Sunday through Wednesday of next week. Then Thursday, a little bit cooler, rebounding into the upper 80s by Friday.
Logos in Gearing is the place to get all of your school spirit gear, personalized gifts, and promotional items for your business and employees and banners for any special event. Logos is also the only place to stop for custom screen printing or embroidery. You can even design it yourself on their interactive website. Stop into Logos today. They'll design it, print it, and have it to you in no time. There's no job too big or small for Logos. That's Logos in Gearing.
It's time for another installment of Friday in the Fields, brought to you by FNBO, the Great Big Small Bank. We're here at Miller Farms in Sioux County, Nebraska. And as the old saying goes, corn knee-high by the 4th of July. And as you can see, we're well above that quota here at the midway mark through the month of July. Well, this week I am joined by Ross Miller, third-generation farmer here at Miller Farms, and 2023 so far has been kind of a bizarre season. It's what everyone out here in Western Nebraska has been talking about, the rain. What have we been seeing here at the farm?
Yeah, we've got quite a bit of rain this spring, which is fairly unusual. When we were planting corn, the ground was really dry, but it's pretty well filled up with water now.
Last time we were out here was early May, and I talked to your father, Glenn, today, and he estimated about 12 inches between May 5th and today. Is that about the right ballpark for you?
I suppose. It varied a little bit depending on what field you're in, but that's probably about right, between 10 and 12 inches, I think.
And that's got to be more than you normally see any given summer for actual rainfall. Is that right?
That's probably the rainfall average for a year. I mean, maybe, I don't know exactly.
So what's the impact that you're seeing on the crops? We'll start with, I guess, what we always say we want to see knee-high by the 4th of July. The corn is looking great.
Yeah, corn looks exceptional. It's ahead of schedule, that's for sure. We're just getting water onto it this week. Well, last week, I guess.
And normally, when do you start irrigating traditionally?
It varies from year to year, but probably mid-June a lot of times, or the 20th of June. So it wouldn't be unusual, so we pushed it back maybe 2 weeks or something like that.
And that just has to mean the world for you for what you have for allocated water usage every season. I mean, you barely touched anything so far.
Yeah, we just got started, so it should help. I hope that they can keep some back in the lakes and stuff for next year. That benefit, that might be where we see the benefit.
I took a peek at your wheat fields. Those are looking good. Where are you standing on that? Are you close to cutting that at all?
Oh, maybe 2 weeks or 2.5 weeks, which is not unusual. The last week of July, that's probably what we average anyway to start. So.
And how's this year's crop looking compared to years past? Has the added water made a difference visibly?
It's hard to tell looking at it. I would assume it's going to be pretty good with quite a bit of rain, but we also got 2 weeks. You got to keep the hail away and everything else. So.
Yeah, and that's something we've really seen a lot of across the Panhandle. As a farmer, how has it been? I mean, just for your entire lifetime, knowing that the white combine is out there and it really doesn't play favorites. It can hit anywhere. So, I mean, I guess you've experienced it firsthand. How devastating is it when you actually get the hail coming down and killing a crop for the season?
Oh, it sure can be. It just depends, on the time of year for it and stuff like that. Sometimes we had just a little hail early on the corn, but it'll grow out of it. But it's It's pretty tough, especially when you watch like wheat in the summer and you know that you're a week or two from combining it and just lays it flat and there's nothing there. So it doesn't happen too often, and we've got lucky that we haven't had near as much hail up here as some people have, like south of Mitchell and out in that area into Gearing. We got pretty lucky on that.
Just this past weekend in Minutair, I saw a lot of fields. Minutair, clear out to about Bayard. I mean, just levels.
Yeah.
I mean, so that's close to home, but far enough away. We're still standing strong. That's amazing.
So far, we've got lucky on that.
And traditionally, I think dry bean harvest for you guys is around Labor Day weekend. Is that going to be expedited with the rainfall, or too early to tell?
Yeah, it's pretty early to tell. Depends. Some of the crops didn't grow a lot this last week where it was cool. And maybe now with pushing 90s and stuff like that, it could really take off. I don't know. I mean, it just kind of have to watch, but it's pretty early on the beans right now.
All right.
So.
And then have you had any cuttings of your hay or alfalfa?
Yeah, I had one so far. We're probably getting close to 2, maybe in a week or 10 days.
And how's that been looking so far compared to what you've had in years past? Again, the rain has been such
record setting. I mean, it was more than we've ever got off hardly any of these fields. So.
And in years past, how many cuttings do you normally get? And are you going to get an extra, maybe even 2 this year?
No extras. We usually get 4 cuttings, and that's, that 4th cutting could be pushing October already. So we didn't move up the time spot on that any. We're actually maybe just a little behind. Last year, I think I was baling the 20th of June, and I think I was cutting the 20th of June this year. So another week, a little bit, almost a week late. So.
And I was looking at our schedule. We're not slated to be up here again for about another 4 to 5 weeks. So what's really going to be keeping you busy until mid-August?
We'll be cutting wheat for sure by then. We may be close to done or possibly being done. And then mostly irrigating, and I suppose we might be cutting the 3rd cutting somewhere right in there. Okay.
Perfect. So. Any other big talking points for operations right now at Miller Farms here in Sioux County?
Not really. One of the things we've noticed a little bit this spring is that with diesel prices coming down a little bit and fertilizer prices coming down a little bit, we haven't quite had to put so much money out to try to get a crop in the ground, and that's helped some.
That always helps the bottom line.
Sure.
All right, we'll catch it up with Ross Miller, 3rd-generation farmer at Miller Farms here in Sioux County. We'll be back here in just about 4 or 5 weeks as we continue on FNBO's Fridays in the Field right here on the Rural Radio Network.
Welcome to Kelly's Liquor, your liquor cabinet. Whether you're a wine enthusiast, a whiskey sommelier, a tequila connoisseur, or you just love your beer, Kelly's has the best selection of what you're looking for. Family owned and operated since 1946 and right on 27th Street in Scottsbluff. Come see us today at Kelly's Liquor, your liquor cabinet. And remember to be a good neighbor. Don't drink and drive. Kelly's Liquor, West 27th Street in Scottsbluff.
Let's take a peek at your weekend community calendar brought to you by Riverstone Bank. The community calendar is brought to you by Riverstone Bank. We're local and we love our community.
You deserve to have a building that will last for generations. With more than 110 years of experience and thousands of satisfied customers, Morton Buildings is the industry leader you can trust. If you're planning for a garage, farm shop, horse barn, storage building for your RV, boat, or collectibles, there's no better time to buy. Contact your local Morton sales office or visit mortonbuildings.com to get started today.
At Platte Valley Bank, we want to help you plan for tomorrow while you enjoy today. Our personalized trust services can help you do just that. You've worked hard to build your legacy, and you want to make sure that gets passed on for generations to come. We offer the professional guidance necessary to ensure that happens, according to your wishes. We pride ourselves in being friendly and professional while offering a highly tailored full line of trust and estate planning services to accommodate you. You belong here.
And finally tonight, local, regional, and state transit and transportation officials were joined by Kimball residents on Wednesday for a ribbon-cutting celebration of the expansion of daily bus service in the Panhandle. The new Kimball County Transit Services Skyline runs between Kimball and Scottsbluff with regular and express service on alternating days, and the Sunline does the same, involving Kimball, Sidney, and Chapel. Both started on Tuesday this week. And during a ceremony in Kimball, Kimball County Transit Service Manager Christy Warner said the expansion is about more than meeting rural needs.
This is not just about getting people to basic needs. It's not just about getting them to a doctor's appointment or, shopping or those kinds of things. We want people to thrive. We want them to be able to live in their communities and thrive. And also, a little economic development, because, getting people out and able to move around means, they support their communities, local or regional.
The two new routes join the already operating Red Line airport shuttle service that runs between Scottsbluff and Denver International Airport, and daily service between Kimball and Cheyenne is in the planning stages. To find out more details about these new services, you can go online to ridekcts.com. Well, that does it for us this time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a safe and enjoyable Oregon Trail Days weekend. We'll see you back here on Monday.